10 or 12 years ago, I banned the use of social media for every single employee at CFM. I did this on a conference call where I told them that social media was the problem with society. I did this because the fact the guy who was at my wedding, a great friend of mine, who was an employee at CFM at the time, had a big weekend, and he wrote on his Facebook status update, "Another bloody Monday." His friend on Facebook was the club owner that he was working at, that CFM were doing a club with at the time, and needless to say, I was furious that he let the club owner know that he wasn't so happy to be at work on that day. As fate would happen, very soon after that, Facebook decided to monetize their cool new thing and allowed advertising on it. Quickly, my wife said, "What the F are you doing?" And we hired a social media manager, and the rest is sort of history. When I started at CFM, so 17 years ago, the other story about me is that I took the job of creative fitness marketing because I was offered a free trip to LA, specifically at Malibu, and it's a place I always wanted to surf. So I was like, fitness industry, I was in a wheelchair as a kid, had back issues, well, you can probably imagine now, I wasn't that muscly. I was a little bit nervous in gyms at that stage as a 21-year-old. So I took the gym purely for a free trip, took the job purely for a free trip. I moved from Australia to the UK. On the very first day, a doppelganger from my mother walked through the door of the club I was working with in Spalding in the UK. This lady was overweight. She was about 35 kilos overweight. She had 3 kids. Her middle child was a son. She had 2 daughters, exactly the same as my mother. She told me through, I guess, emotional open-ended questioning how her whole life had been impacted because of this lack of health and fitness, and that she didn't like to do things, she didn't like to wear tops with no sleeves, she was nervous at Christmas time, she never would eat seconds in front of her husband, and literally my mind blew up at that stage from starting a job to do it purely to get a free trip to Malibu and surf there to, hang on, I think I've found my calling for the rest of my life. Now, the way that these two things merge together, again, I've been at CFM 17 years, and for 10 years we've been doing social media marketing, is I love the fact that I got to sit in front of these people and change their lives. I love the very part of where CFM sits. So starting from day one, someone who's at a zero, someone who has no health and fitness, and I think I can change their life by explaining to them, Steve style, how their life is better by choosing to join the club that I was at. Now, my challenge for 17 years, or possibly for the first 7 years, was I could do it amazingly, or our staff could do it amazingly when they came into the club, but how do we get them into the club? Flyers, television, radio, newspaper, none of that did it the right way. They already sort of had a bit of a fitness need, so when they got to us at a club, they were already possibly at a fruit. You know, they were already slightly on the way because they'd made the decision to come down. Now, social media marketing, what that allows us to do is it allows us to get them when they're at their lowest point, when they've eaten the horrible food, when they've had the horrible day, when their 4 and 1-year-old won't go to sleep and they haven't slept for 3 days. And they're scrolling endlessly on their social media platforms, and they're looking for video content because that's the way they like to consume these days. They're looking for motivation with whatever it might be, and motivation of health and fitness. And it can literally start them from a zero through the marketing methods that we can now do through social media marketing. So for us at CFM, we think that social media marketing was always coming. It's just that 30 years ago, it didn't exist, but we were always meant to have social media and digital marketing as our main source of motivating people towards a better lifestyle. The challenge that I see for the fitness industry at the moment is that the club owners that we deal with and everyone else that we speak to in the industry is they feel that social media or digital marketing is confusing. And I would have to agree 10 years ago. What Facebook tells us is that as an industry, the fitness industry is a little bit behind other like industries when it comes to our digital marketing. So that's what I see our challenge to be as an industry, and that's what I'm essentially speaking about today. So what I'm going to give you in 20 minutes, which is nearly impossible in this field that is such a huge importance of our business today, is give you 4 really simple, and I will repeat that, really simple strategies that you can take home and take to your club and improve your digital marketing to get more of an inactive segment to choose your clubs. Perfect. The first one is again, really, really simple. It's video versus static ads, or material that we're putting up. Facebook best practice tells us that video should be 80% of what you put out on your digital platforms, and static should be 20%. We have found that our industry is really unique, and a lot of Facebook best practices don't quite fit our industry. However, this one could not be more true, if not more scaled the other way, which is why when you do Owen's round table, you really should pay attention. Videos are so powerful because A, as I said before, that's how the current target market, the inactive people, want to consume their social media. That's how they want to consume any information, through short, powerful videos, because they've got the attention span of my 4-year-old. The second thing is it allows us to storytell and literally motivate those that are seeking motivation. So videos are absolutely king, as Owen says, and they are the only way to move forward to improve our digital marketing, advertising, and the fitness industry. We should be aiming for more than 80%, and what Facebook is saying is that that metric, their best practice, will be moving more towards 90-10. The other thing it does is it allows Facebook to be cool, or Instagram, or whatever you want to call it. They want to be cool. That's their whole thing. Whether you agree with that or not, it doesn't matter, because that's where our target market is sitting on social media platforms. Videos are cool, you'll get better results. The second simple to implement strategy is just knowing your Facebook metrics. Now this is 4 hours to go through Facebook metrics, so I'm going to choose 2 that possibly you can look at through Business Manager really simply to improve your videos and your static content. The first thing to know is that our aim is to create message conversation starts. That's our aim. When we're looking on Facebook, we're trying to create more message conversation starts, because that is our into a lead. That's our starting point. To get more message conversation starts, we need to obviously do better and better content. A lot of content, we've got to find what's working for our target market, so we're going to need to do a lot of content. So how do you figure out whether your content is good and whether it's working? Facebook give you a score. Facebook have a thing called relevance score. Every single thing you put on Facebook or social media will be given a score out of 1 to 10. You get a 1, that's a poor relevance. That does not make Facebook cool. They do not want it. Static images that have a lot of text on it, 1. What that'll mean is Facebook won't deploy it. Instagram won't deploy it. Snapchat won't deploy it. It doesn't matter what budget you put on that advert, it will not get deployed across the target market you're looking for. But conversely, if you get a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 for the content that you've put on a digital platform, they'll not only deploy it to everyone that you want it to hit, but they'll do it basically free. They will not use your full budget. They will help you along the way because, again, they want to be cool. That would lead the question to be, well, how do we get a higher relevance score? Again, I'm going to just give 2 quick, easy to digest tips on how to get a better relevance score with your social media content. The first one is just to be creative. The more creative it is, the cooler you are and the better that Facebook will score your videos and the better the deployment. The video here is literally a joke. I'm getting smashed in the head and in the nuts by footballers. The reason we did this was to show our staff and the clubs that we work with how you get a high relevance score and get deployed across Facebook. That got a 9.4 relevance score. And I just continually get hit in the nuts. The other thing about this video is I'm told by the 30 staff at CFM it was their favourite fucking day at the office. I've never told Ben this before, but I had padding down my pants. Where are you, Ben? I had padding down my pants, mate, so suck on that one. Any staff member at your clubs can create this creative content, and the people who do come up with a goal that get the high relevance score continually surprise me. All you've got to do is let everyone succeed in this. Give everyone the opportunity. And as people have said today, throughout today, is no one's right. No one's right. I've heard of ideas and I think that's a horrible idea, and it works, and it creates a high relevance score, and it gets new message conversation starts and new people to change their life through choosing exercise. So give them the iPhone, give them a gimbal, give them a microphone, and let them go nuts. Worst case scenario, it's a video that goes up for a few hours and doesn't work. Best case scenario, it gets you a 9 and it works for days to create more people to come down. The next one is really, really easy. Is just do more live videos. Again, Facebook, Instagram, whoever it might be, they want to be relevant, they want to be cool, they feel relevant if you want to be on their platform doing live videos. The thing about our industry and why live videos work so well for our industry, again, is the target market, especially that we are looking for at CFN, are those intimidated, those nervous type people. Live videos actually bring them in to your club and show them that it isn't the scary place that they might have thought it might have been. They literally message straight after it going, this looks like it could be the gym for me now, maybe I'll come down, and we think it's always been the gym for you, you just didn't see it. And you'll have a lot of nervousness with public speaking or possibly doing the lives. If they do mess up, that's better, because it makes you more real and it makes more people want to come down. The next Facebook metric is really simple, and that's just on frequency. So when you pulse your marketing, you, again, on Business Manager, on Facebook, or wherever you get your metrics from social media, there's a score called frequency. Very often we see clubs do something and think, well, why didn't it work? And we look at their frequency and it's a 0.1. That score, 0.1, means it was seen by your target market on average 0.1 times. So no one saw it. That's why it didn't work. And then conversely, we did marketing, we did a video, and it seemed to annoy everyone. Well, when we look at the target market, we look at the frequency score, and the frequency score is a 10. So people saw the same advert exactly the same 10 times. You'll hear a lot of people in the digital marketing space say you want a lot of content, you want a lot of content. It really is true. The magic score that we have for frequency is 1.8. We want the same video to be seen 1.8 times unless it's going nuts. So we want more videos ready to stop that 1.8. And how do you stop it at 1.8? With everything in Facebook, you can set it. You set it when you go in there. We set it as 1.8, and then when it turns itself off, when Facebook turns it off for us automatically, we go in and look, and if it's had a major engagement, we turn it straight off. The other thing that I won't get through today, because again it is a full hour in discussion, is just the split testing ability in social media. In my first week on the road for CFM in England, I had to sit on the ground and get 20,000 flyers. 10,000 flyers had an A on the back, 10,000 flyers had a B on the back, and I had to swap them individually one by one so the distributor could take them house to house. So every house got an A flyer, and the A flyer had a 30-year-old woman on it, and the B flyer had a 50-year-old woman on it. And we wanted to know which one worked the best, because we're a marketing agency and that's what we do. But it was literally so time-consuming, you had to put one by one after. Then you have to wait for it to go out, and then when they came in, you have to look at the flyer and say, has it got an A and a B on it? And you get the testing back, and it goes, oh, it was 7 to 6, what do we do? At Facebook, you can literally set a split test between every single bit you do, whether it's the copy, whether it's the video, whether it's the person in a static. Facebook will email you, so you don't even have to check and tell you this is what worked, and they'll turn off the one that isn't working for you. They want to be cool again, so they'll help you. Do it all for free. Split testing is amazing, and at CFM we're doing split testing every week to make sure that what we're on is winning, and everyone's opinion means nothing. Split testing is key. The third strategy that's really simple and seems quite obvious is just to be everywhere your target market is. We know our target market in the fitness industry, or specifically at CFM, we're trying to target the people who possibly aren't targeted enough, the deconditioned market. We know they're procrastinators, and we believe that those people need 7 touches of marketing to take action. Now, in the old days at CFM or at any club, the way we would create that, if you were pulsing your marketing or whatever you might be doing at the time, is it might be a newspaper, it might be a radio, it might be a TV. What people can do now is you can get the 7 touches of marketing to motivate this person from zero, all through digital, all through the same way. So the first point on being everywhere your target market is to make sure you've got that social media diversification. Doing Facebook feed and boosting your ad, the word boosting is banned at CFM, you've got to say deploying. The word boosting is banned, don't use it. If you're deploying an ad just on Facebook feed, it's the equivalent of me coming down to your club doing bicep curls and going, how come my legs are still sticks? It doesn't work, or it certainly limits your output. What we find is, and what I guess in marketing channels or marketing circles, they call it the social media loop that our target market does these days. That is that they go home, And they sit in front of the couch again, they might have had a tough day at work or with the kids, whatever they're doing, they finally sit down in front of the TV. And what do they do when they watch the TV? They pick up their phone and they start scrolling. And they open Facebook and they scroll down on Facebook and see what's happening. They go to Facebook stories. They swipe up. They glance at the TV for 0.1 of a second and open Instagram. And they scroll up. And they scroll back down and go to Instagram stories and scroll right. Then they swipe up. And they go to Snapchat. And they go to TikTok. Then they go to Messenger. And then what do? They start again. The loop comes. Facebook, what the hell has happened in the last 17 minutes that I was doing my loop? I must have missed out. Holy shit, let me get back there. And then they go through it again and again and again. And then what happens? They get too tired to go to sleep. What a great night. We believe that you need to be on Facebook feed, you need to be on Facebook stories, you need to be on Instagram feed, you need to be in Messenger stories, and I'll touch on that in a tick. Messenger stories are absolutely gold right now. You need to be in their Snapchat, you need to be in their app, so maybe in that whole break they might have stopped to play Words with Friends. Guess what? When they win their game, up comes our ad and it motivates them to a better lifestyle. YouTube, the next morning, the kid comes up, wants to watch Peppa Pig and their stuff, because they were doing a social media loop all night. So they put on Peppa Pig, it's on YouTube, and up comes our ad. You've got to be in YouTube, you've got to be on Google Ads, you've got to be on TikTok. That's how we get the 7 touches, and that's how we motivate the D-active segment to come in. Now, what a lot of clubs sit there when they hear this sort of thing is they go, wow, that's going to be expensive, that's going to be hard. There's no doubt it's a lot of content. There's no doubt that every single person in your business can create this content if they're motivated to do it. And it will be surprising how good they actually are at it. And in cost-wise, because we're a service, the gyms are a service, we can use geo-targeting and it doesn't cost that much. It really is inexpensive to do. When talking about social media, the next point to be everywhere you target market is to be first. Be first in your market to be on a platform. And this is because, again, the Facebook algorithm or the social media algorithms will work for you. When Instagram stories started, it grew 10 times quicker than Instagram itself had grown. We know at CFM that Snapchat right now is gold for us. So if you're not on Snapchat, get on it. We know that between the ages of 20 and 35, unfortunately I don't fall in that anymore, 54% of people use Snapchat. We know that Messenger ads work absolutely crazy at CFM. And we know this because 3 times more people in 2019 messaged through Messenger than messaged through text messaging. We know TikTok is just starting, it's got 1 billion users. We're on the platform, so it's working great at Messenger Stories, it's working amazing at Snapchat. We haven't had a whole lot of success yet on TikTok, and you can get on there really easy, the beta testing thing, you go on there, you have to get accepted beta testing, absolute piece of cake. The sales aren't through the roof there, but when you do social media marketing, every time someone swipes, we all know this, it's an auction. So it's an auction to see who gets that ad space. On these new platforms, no one's on there. So you're bidding against no one. So TikTok, Snapchat, Messenger ads will cost you absolutely nothing. So even if the sales are low, it really is a good point of being there. The next point is in communication. This is probably more so in all sales and all, I guess, marketing. But the biggest change that we've had at CFM, and if a lot of people know CFM 30 years ago, 90% of the sales were from telemarketing. 30 years ago, at the moment, telemarketing is 4% of our sales. Social media is at 72%. But what it's seen even further is that people don't want to be called. People want to be communicated through the same way that they communicated with you. So for us, it's through Messenger. People want a message through Messenger, they want the discussion, they want their motivation through Messenger. Obviously we want to get them in so we can motivate them to a better life through a tour, but we want to just have all that discussion through Messenger, and that includes confirming their appointment back through that same channel, Messenger, and that's where we have a lot of our luck. What we teach our guys is that Messenger is like a phone call. Because they do the loop, when they're in the Messenger app, we want to get them. So it is like a phone call. When that messenger dings, it's like answer the phone. Get straight to them immediately. We have staff that work nights and we have staff that work all weekends that are purely messenger related. That's the change or the adaptation of our business. They're not in the telemarketing department as much anymore, but I tell you what, there's someone messaging at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night, and that's how it should be. For us, bots, we trialled it in 2018, bots exploded. There was 4 times the amount of bots in 2018 as it was in 2017. In 2019, there was a 40% decline. That's what happened to us. We looked at bots, because we thought that'd be amazing. Our staff won't have to work at 9 o'clock on a Saturday. But it just doesn't work, in my opinion, for clubs, because it's an emotional driven thing. The questions aren't the same, and it's simply not there. So we would much rather pay staff to message at all hours than we would to even attempt another bot. And that's essentially the 4 herbs and spices that I can touch on in this really short allocated amount of time. Social media marketing in 2020 gives a return, an average return of 30 to 1. Now, as a complete marketing nerd like everyone at CFM is, that's unrivaled. You cannot put enough emphasis or enough money or enough time or enough resources into your digital part of your marketing department. The returns in the fitness industry are just, they're better than pure revs. Whilst, as I said before, we only do work with 50 clubs, there's so much to go through that if anyone would like any more information on digital marketing, then please drop me an email. We have an ebook that's free that I'm happy to send out to you guys, and I'm happy to answer any questions. But yeah, thanks a lot for your time, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you very much, Liam. We are now going to go into our final round table. On the run sheets there, I think it says there's 2 round